Let's look at another example of a has-a relationship. So here I wrote a class called course, like a course like biology or AP computer science. I decided not to call the class because I just thought that would be confusing. So I'm calling it course, but you get the idea. So a course has a name, right? As I said, like biology or history or something like that. And a course has 3 students in it. Now, really, a class would have a whole lot more than 3 students, probably, but I'm just trying to keep it very simple here. So my course just has 3 students. Now notice, these are not the names of students, these are student objects. So I could say that a course has a student, or actually in this case, has 3 student objects. That's a has-a relationship. Okay, so this is the constructor for my course. I'm passing in the name of the course, and I'm setting name of the course to whatever gets passed in. And then I'm initializing my 3 student objects, student 1, student 2, student 3, to null. Now, maybe you haven't seen this before, but null is basically the same thing as setting like an int value to 0. And as a matter of fact, even if I did not have these lines of code, if I just deleted them, by default, objects are initialized to null. So this is not really necessary. But all right, there we go. So that's my constructor. Then I have a method here called addStudent. And it takes a student object, and I'm calling it x. All right. And I'm just saying, hey, if student 1 is null, in other words, if student 1 is not currently pointing to an object, then student 1 is going to point to object x. I'm saying point to a lot, and I'm going to draw you a picture of this in a moment. Otherwise, if student 1 is not null, I guess it's going to see if student 2 is null and assign student 2 to x, else student 3. Obviously, if student 1, 2, and 3 are not, if none of them are null, well, the course is full. Sorry, pal, you're not getting in here. Anyway, then I have my toString method, and of course, that just prints out information about the course, the name of the course, and information about student 1, student 2, and student 3. Notice here, I'm just saying student 1, student 2, student 3. What do you think that's doing? Is that printing out the names of the students? Well, it's actually running, and you probably know this, it's actually running the toString method for a student. Yeah, so let's look at the student class. This is the student class. Now I made this quite simple just so we could see what's going on here. I just gave students a name, okay? And of course this is the constructor, and I'm initializing the name to whatever gets passed in. And then I have this method, and this one you have to think about a little bit. I have this method called addClass, and it's getting passed a course object, and I'm using the variable, I just named it C. I could have called it anything, of course. So a course is getting passed into this method. Well, that's interesting. And the method is running the addStudent method in the course class, right? C is a course. So I can only run methods, since C is a course, I can only run methods in the course class. And the method that I'm running is the addStudent method, and I'm passing this. There is this again. What the heck is this? Well, this is the keyword that means the object that is running this particular method. So in this case, it would be a student object. Only students can run the addClass method. So this refers to the student that is running the addClass method. Yeah, all right, we're going to look at the tester in a minute, but right here at the bottom, I have a toString, very simple toString. It's just returning information about the student, the name of the student in this case. All right, now we're going to look at the tester. This is the student tester, so let's just go through this and see what's happening. So initially, I'm creating a course named C1. It's a new course. Hey, AP Computer Science is the course. So down here, I drew a picture. I don't know if you can see this little dot here. I drew a picture of the course, and I can, here, let me just circle that. You can see that. Okay, so this is what my course looks like initially. It is AP Computer Science, and students 1, 2, and 3 are all null. They're not pointing anywhere. And you recall that I set them all to null, and of course null is default for an object. Objects are initialized to null by default. Then I'm running the toString method on object C1 on course, and actually we can take a look at that again. The toString method just prints out the name of the course, and then runs the toString method for student 1, student 2, and student 3, well, initially they're all going to be null. But all right, and let's go back to my student tester. So, oops, lost the bottom thing there too. Then I make a student A. It's a new student called Art. So I drew a picture of that. There's Art right there. He is a new student. Then I'm running the method add class. Well, I'm running that method on A. What's A? A is the student named Art. Okay, so Art is running the add class method, and it's passing in this course here. C1 is the AP Computer Science course. It's a little weird. Let's look at that again. So we're going to look at the student class. The add class method says pass me a course, and I am going to run the method in course called add student, and I'm going to pass it this student. Yeah, let's look at course again. And oops, up here, sorry. Course, the method add student says pass me a student. Yeah, and if then it goes through, we already talked about this. If student 1 is null, then student 1 gets assigned X, and so forth. But I just want to be clear what's going on. So let's look at the student again. Student is running the add student method, and it's passing this. This is the student that we're trying to add to course C. I'm gonna look at this one more time. So this is a student that we're passing in. It's this student, right? Pass me in a student. Here I am in course again. Pass me in a student. Yeah, this is a little weird. You might have to give it a little bit of thought. But let's see what's happening. If I go back to the tester, I can show you what's happening here when I say a.addClass_C1. What's really happening is, instead of this being null, I'm going to cross this out now. It's no longer null. Student 1 is not null. It's now actually pointing to my first student there, Art. Yeah, there's Art. Then I make a new student B. It's new student Sam. And then Sam is running the add class method, and it's passing in the course C1. So of course that is going to, if I go back to my add class method in my student class, yeah, here's my add class method in the student class. I'm passing in a course. Remember, I'm passing in C1. So this is running the course method, and I'm passing in this student. So we're going to look at the course class again one more time. The course class, right? This is a method in the course class, so only courses can run this method, and it says pass me in a student, and you know what this does, of course. So let's go back to here. So student 2, if I go back to my tester, student 2 now is set to Sam. So here's my student 2. It is now pointing to Sam. Objects, it's nice to think of them as really pointing to an object. I'm showing it's pointing because I didn't want to write the name Art there, because then it would look like, oh, just the name of the student. That's not really what's happening. It's really pointing to a student. It's really the address in memory of this particular student. Sometimes I say to my classes, it's like if I gave you the address of my house. Is that my house? No, it's really just pointing to my house. If I gave 2 people the address to my house, do I have 2 houses? No, they're both pointing to the same house. Yeah, so that you have to think of objects as just the address of something. All right. Well, I went through this kind of quick, I think, but maybe watch it more than once, because I think understanding this will definitely help you with the next project. All right, thanks so much for watching.